So I asked Chat GPT to look up a list of Xbox exclusives since September 2017. Forza Motorsport, Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tale, PUBG, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, Grounded, The Medium, and Halo Infinite. There's probably more because Chat GPT kind of sucks when it comes to this, but why did I pick September 2017? Because that's when Phil Spencer took over the reins. And I think he did a lot of really good stuff for Xbox early on in the hardware category. He built up the Xbox Series brand. You had the S and the X and the One X and the One S. And I think he really cemented what Game Pass could be. I think that was a very tough sell for a lot of people, this idea of renting a service, kind of like Netflix or something, where you're streaming some content and you're getting a rolling list of other content. All cool stuff. But let's not beat around the bush. Phil Spencer has got to go. And why does he have to go? Why? I mean, I like Big Daddy Phil. He is the face of Xbox. I think he does a phenomenal job of connecting with the fans. I've got to meet him personally a few times at Xbox Fan Fest, and he's absolutely the ambassador of who we want is gaming, right? He's the guy. Well, I guess I don't want a figurehead who's releasing bad games. Now, that's not to say Phil Spencer himself is releasing bad games. He's not sitting there and coding out games that suck, but somebody has to take the blame. Who's going to take the blame? You want to put the blame on Major Nelson? Do you want to put the blame on Matt Booty? You probably should, but he's not the only one. And State of Decay 2 sucked, and Crackdown 3 sucked, and Grounded came out unfinished, and the Medium went by with a lot of fanfare. Halo Infinite is basically the last 6 months of my channel violently loving and hating it. And now we have Redfall, and Starfield's coming. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't look good. Phil Spencer admits 2022 was a bad year for Xbox, promises more games in 2023. That was the year without an Xbox game. Phil Spencer admits that Microsoft shipped too early and that delaying Starfield was the right thing to do. Well, here's the problem. When you release games that aren't good on a platform that is known for not releasing very many games, all eyes go on what is coming out. And Arcane Studio, which is a phenomenal game studio, my absolute favorite game studio. If you've watched my channel, you know I love them. I loved Deathloop. I loved Dishonored. I loved Prey. And they should be making better stuff. So why didn't they? Was it budget? Was it schedule? Was it unrealistic performance? Did they not have the tools to do the job? It doesn't matter. The fact is they hurt their brand. And when Microsoft released Halo Infinite and it shipped really early and it didn't have a lot of features and it was missing a lot of customization and the servers were buggy and laggy. And when Sea of Thieves launched, basically completely depleted of features and it was just basically a sailing simulator and there wasn't a whole lot to do. Or Crackdown 3 or State of Decay 2. Big flagship title games that were under Phil Spencer when he was at top. And I get it. You don't want to micromanage your folks. I'm a program manager now. I get that. You don't want to tell people what to do moment by moment, second by second. Because when you do that, you stifle creativity. And let's face it, when you're up at the top, you don't know everything. But he is not doing a good job at eliminating roadblocks. What roadblocks? Well, I don't know. That's for game developers to determine what those roadblocks are, but clearly they're not getting the job done. Is it not the right tools? Is it too much of a reliance on contractor support? Is it unrealistic goals? Is it not enough funding? Is it too much promise? Is it feature creep? Is it design philosophy? I don't know, and I frankly don't care as a fan. I just want good games. And God, Microsoft once again screws the pooch. And this guy, Phil Spencer, like, how long can you ride the Game Pass bandwagon? How long can you say, well, he brought us Game Pass? Yes, he sure did. And it really did change a lot. It sparked an entire industry with Origin Premier Access and Ubisoft Uplay and EA Plus. And, I mean, even to some extent, Google Stadia and Amazon Luna all have roots with Game Pass. Cool. Appreciate your contribution to the entire Microsoft machine, Phil Spencer. But when it comes to making games, one, you're not making very many of them, and two, they kind of suck ass. And when you have that kind of combination, well, you're in for a world of hurt. And you look at this and go, well, geez, Nintendo's constantly putting out quality products. Oh, PlayStation's constantly putting out quality products. Well, Microsoft isn't. Well, it must be because there's too many Nintendo Switch fanboys and there's too many Sony ponies that are picking on us. And Microsoft is a great brand and we should huddle together and all revel in the power of the Xbox One, the world's most powerful console. It's got 8,000 gigaflop, terabytes, whatever. You know what? All the processing power in the world isn't going to matter if your game isn't fun, if it doesn't run well, if it's not accessible to players. And these are some of the core creeds that make a good game. And for some reason, Microsoft got away from that. Go and look. I just went on ChatGPT. I was just reading a list of some of those exclusive games to you. These Microsoft games that have been under Phil Spencer. And let me tell you, they're not that great. There's a couple good ones in there. Ori and Will of the Wisps was phenomenal. And Cuphead was phenomenal, and Forza Motorsport continues to be genre-breaking in terms of quality and performance and overall just customer value. I love that game. I have a whole racing station dedicated just to Forza. That's how much I like it. I don't even like racing games, but I like Forza. You got the whole thing going on with the Elite controller, my absolute favorite controller in the world, my daily driver that I never ever game without anymore. I'm constantly using this thing. You have rich franchises, you have Gears of War, you have Halo that are just kind of dying by the wayside because the games keep coming out and they suck. You got to blame Phil for that. I don't know who else you can blame. Pick me a name, let's fire him. You're going to have to turn this ship around and you got to make bold moves. The best thing that happened to 343 Industries in the last 10 years, Bonnie Ross left. The best thing that's going to happen to Microsoft in the next 5 years, Phil Spencer needs to leave. It's time for somebody different to come in and radically change that work culture and radically change the way games are made, because all we keep doing is getting disappointed. And for all of you guys that are out there that hoping Starfield is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, well, I got news for you too.